Neural Parasite on the 3 Vikings. That actually is excellent because it allows these Broodlords to stay alive, which is critical at this point. And we see that Lalush has the better Air Force because he's stolen those 3 Vikings. Only 2 Vikings here for Jinro. Broodlords have killed a lot of tanks here, so they've definitely already paid for themselves. Lalush probably has these Vikings on hold position. If you don't do that, they can wander off and you can lose control over them, reverting back to the other player. So yeah. This is a very solid battle by Lalush here. A lot of times these great players will just play much harder after losing a game. So you see them flip-flop. And definitely Lalush looks like he's got some inspired play here after losing the last game. More Broodlords being morphed in. I just love this. You don't see Neural Parasite on Vikings very much, but if you think about it, it is pretty cost effective. I mean, Infestors really aren't that expensive with the 100 minerals, 150 gas cost. So Vikings, I think, are 125.75. Even if he did lose his Infestors, it's not a bad trade-off. And he's not losing these Infestors. They are gaining energy this entire time. He has control over these Vikings. So now we see that Jinro is focused a lot more heavily on the Air Force, which is pretty good for Lalush. It's better than tanks. Tanks are very difficult to deal with. I know in a lot of my Zerg games I definitely did not make enough Broodlords to counter Terran mech. It just seemed like they were such an extremely long tech path to reach, getting the hive and then getting the greater spire. So a lot of times I just was not patient enough and neglected that, but it is a very good counter. Neural Parasite I had used quite a bit to counter Terran mech, and it does work great, but Broodlords plus Neural Parasite is fantastic. Speedling's able to get in, probably gonna kill a lot of supply depots there. Jinro is thrown completely off his game plan, having to switch into these Vikings, not really having the tank numbers that he wish he could have. Now we see the Vikings on the ground. The SCVs are getting in their way, preventing them from going back here to stop the Zerglings from rampaging in the supply depot line. And the Broodlords are still harassing. You notice here that Lalush is very careful with his Broodlords and just tries to harass, and then, you know, once they're in danger, he'll just float them away. Very expensive units, you don't want to just lose those. Zerglings are finally cleaned up. Jinro has all his units here out of position, leaving himself open for another strike here to this new base. Planetary Fortress or not, this will go down. Possibly could live if he had a full SCV line to repair the Planetary Fortress, but he does not. Another command center ready to be floated, so Jinro's ready to expand again. Probably has a much larger air force than he wishes. Lalush kinda has been directing the flow of this game, and meanwhile, while Lalush has been attacking, his expansions have been mining away happily. And we see this game, since Jinro did not go with the medevac build with the mass infantry that he did last game, he has much less opportunity to harass and attack Lalush as he did last game. Now it's just the giant mech ball with Viking assistance strategy. So you'll have really large battles where the mech just plows in and takes things out one at a time. Whereas before, Jinro is just able to attack all over the place and just really harass Lalush. I think Lalush probably, like most Zerg, is more used to large army battles where a large Terran army comes to attack instead of just constant harassment. And here, oh, we have many overlords going down in the Terran main. These Vikings might take out several of the overlords. Corruptor's coming in as well. Vikings on the ground, not the best unit, especially when they're 0-0 versus 3-2 or 2-3 Zerg units. 3 armor to attack. Oh, so Jinro being forced into the Vikings, a unit that he had no upgrades for, has absolutely killed his game plan here. Interesting how Jinro did a much better job doing something unconventional like the infantry build. And now here we see standard Terran mech with the Viking in tank and Thor, which most Terran do nowadays. He's having a much harder time. Corruption going off on the Vikings. You don't see that used very often. That's going to give a plus 20% damage boost to anyone that, or any unit that attacks these Vikings. Jinro losing all his supply depots. Yep. And all his factories. Not looking good for Jinro. Excellent play here by Lalush, though. After losing in the last game, he just stopped Jinro's mech cold with the Broodlords and the Neural Parasite. So he got 2 great Neural Parasites off on those Thors. And being able to Neural Parasite 3 Vikings, which a lot of Zerg don't consider as targets for Neural Parasite, really. Gave him the better air force to protect his Broodlords, and also at the same time, by holding on to those Vikings, it ate up a little bit of Jinro's supply. So very good play here by Lalush. So this is Johnny Vegas from BattleReports.com. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.